I have some LÄVO gummy worm molds, and they've had their gummy candy mixer device and gummy mixes for a while now, but they recently came out with what they are calling a DIY mix and match gummy making kit that has unflavored gummy mix with dyes and flavors, so you can create your own concoctions without having to buy a new flavor packet of gummy mix to have different flavors. Unfortunately, it looks like the dyes are the bad dyes, but if I used them, I don't think I'd use more than a drop for the entire batch, but I would still like and hope to see them make a change with these dyes someday. Since I want to try the unflavored gummy mix, I think I want to add infused coconut oil into my gummy mix, and you could infuse special garden herbs, but I want to use this pineapple sage that I have in my garden. It's got a nice, sweet, fruity flavor, and I think with the unflavored mix, it can really shine. But I might add a tiny bit of one of the flavors from the kit in case the pineapple sage isn't strong enough in flavor. Okay, I have my freshly harvested pineapple sage washed, so I'm going to dry it in my LÄVO II infuser, and then I'm just going to add a bit of coconut oil since I won't need much, and I'll get the infusion process started. Okay, my infused coconut oil is ready. The scent is subtle, but it's there. I'll set this aside for later. Because I'm experimenting, I'd like to just do a small batch, so I'm going to half the half recipe just to try it out to see how well the flavor comes through with the pineapple sage, and also to try out their flavor drops as well. And you can use as much of their dyes and flavor drops as needed for darker colors or a stronger flavor, so I think this is going to be fun to experiment with. The instructions for the gummy mixer were also on the bag of the mix, and you can make this on your stovetop or use this gummy mixer. If I wasn't given this mixer as a gift, I probably wouldn't have bought it, but it's nice to have because you know you won't burn your mix and you don't have to watch over it. This is the inside with a stir pod, and I'll go ahead and get my mix in and add the water. Before running the mixer, it's still a good idea to give it all a little stir, and then I will power the mixer on for the first cycle, which is about 7 minutes. The mixer isn't very loud, but you can definitely hear a little hum, and I'll take a little peek. It's kind of heating up and just dissolving the mix with the water right now. The first cycle is done, and now I can add my infused pineapple sage coconut oil. And I am going to add just the tiniest amount of their strawberry flavor. I think that it will go the best with the pineapple sage out of all the flavors. I'm also going to add just a little bit of the red dye to give it some color. Now I'll pop the lid back on and I'll run the second cycle, and this one will run for 14 minutes to really blend everything together. I'm really curious and want to take a peek. Oof, it is hot and it's really mixing, so I'm just going to let it do its thing. Alright, I have my finished gummy mixture, so now it's time to get it into the molds. I'm using a spoon, and I should have chosen a smaller spoon, but I'll make do with this. Now you could use a food grade eyedropper for this, that might be easier, and LÄVO does sell an easy pour spout. I don't have it though. I definitely wouldn't recommend just pouring it from the mixer itself without a spout because I did that before. In fact, here is what it looked like when I made gummies for the first time. The mixer is not meant for pouring. It created a huge sticky mess, and my gummy worms just ended up looking weird and stuck together. So yeah, don't make that mistake. Use a spoon or other kind of tool to get the mix in the molds. It doesn't take too long to set, maybe an hour or so, and here is the finished product. The gummy mix was sugar-free, so they aren't sticky, but if you used one of their other gummy mixes with sugar, then they might be sticky. So you can roll or dip the gummies in sour sugar, or even regular white sugar could work to get rid of the stickiness. They have an unflavored sour sugar, but they also have blue raspberry and watermelon flavored sour sugar. Adding the sour sugar can be another way to change up the flavors with your gummies, unless you really wanted to keep them sugar-free. And then if you want to get fancy, there's edible glitter and shimmer, but I'm not going to do that today. So here we are, and flavor-wise, they are pretty good. The pineapple sage is very subtle, so I think next time I might infuse more of it for longer in the coconut oil to make it really strong, but I was just experimenting and playing around with this kit. And speaking of this kit, as much as I love my LÄVO infuser and the mixer, if you wanted to make homemade gummy candy, You can always infuse oil the old-fashioned way, and you can make the gummy mixes on the stove, and you can use whatever brand of gummy mix or gelatin that you want, and you can make them as healthy as you want. I just happened to have all of this stuff that the company sent me a while ago to test out, but if it's above your means, use what you have or what you can afford. But if you find yourself making infusions and gummy candy a lot, you might find it beneficial to invest in some equipment, and you can always wait for a sale. I'll keep experimenting with flavors and making gummy candy with things from my garden, and I'm always interested in any flavor combinations to try, so if there's a flavor or combo you think would be good, let me know in the comments.